Last year in 2018, the creators of Pubg filed a lawsuit against Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite. In this video, I wanted to explore how PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was created, how Fortnite was built upon the release of Gears of War 3, and of course, how the success of Fortnite Battle Royale mode motivated Pubg to initiate the lawsuit in the first place. PlayerUnknown's Battleground, also known as Pubg, was developed by Brendan Greene and officially released in 2017. But the story of Pubg does not begin here. With ample free time and a serious display of passion, in 2013 Greene, working as a freelance editor and gamer living in Brazil, decided to create a mod for the popular PC game Arma 2. In past interviews, we learned that Greene was a fan of the Japanese film Battle Royale, and this released in the early 2000s. Drawing on this inspiration from the movie, as well as his dissatisfaction with the repetitive nature of shooters at the time, Greene acknowledged that he wanted to develop a map that could not be easily memorized, but at the same time would also offer gameplay that was both fair and challenging to new and veteran players alike. His mod would later be called DayZ Battle Royale, and the game was an attempt to make a shooter that was challenging but also genuinely fun at the same time. It is important to recognize that Greene did not create the game or mode entirely alone. He actually created his game using another mod called DayZ, which was also created for Arma 2, and it is at this time that Brendan Greene created DayZ Battle Royale. A few years after the release of the DayZ Battle Royale game mode, some folks at Sony Online Entertainment recognized Greene's work and they brought him on to consult on their in-house game H1Z1. They were impressed by the idea of the Battle Royale game mode Greene had created, and they went ahead and licensed the Battle Royale idea from him. It is possible that this licensing agreement was the reason Pubg, years later, felt that they were owed royalties from Fortnite for using the Battle Royale idea Greene created, but this was never confirmed or denied. Either way, after finishing his work with Sony, Greene officially partnered with the South Korean game company Bluehole and went on to create the standalone game PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And by 2017, the game had sold 5 million copies and became the third most popular game on Steam. After publishing Gears of War 3 in 2011, the developers at Epic Games decided to relax and have a jam session to see who can make some crazy, creative, fun games. During this session, the concept of building games like Minecraft and third-person shooting games like Gears were thrown around, mixed and matched, and it was during this period that some of the developers who were at the Gears after party started to realize that a few of the ideas were actually pretty good. These developers started merging the concepts together, and it was from here that they settled on making the game that would become known as Fortnite Save the World, a player versus environment horde mode game. Fortnite Save the World released in July 2017 to a lukewarm reception. The game was supposed to be in beta for 2 years and released as a free-to-play game in 2019, but with the sudden success of Pubg earlier in the year, the developers had an aha moment and realized that they could make a Battle Royale mode using the basic tools they had already created in Fortnite. The Fortnite Battle Royale mode was pieced together in a matter of months and released at the end of 2017 as a second game mode within Fortnite Save the World, but the developers decided to release it as a free-to-play game with the hope that any gamer who played it would be willing to invest in the microtransactions within the game. Within 2 weeks of releasing the Battle Royale game mode, Fortnite had over 10 million people playing the game. Most were from console gamers who had watched streamers play Pubg on Twitch and YouTube, but who in turn had no Battle Royale game to play on their console. With the final release of Fortnite Battle Royale, console gamers were finally able to play a Battle Royale just like their favorite streamers online. In February 2018, Fortnite overtook Pubg in monthly revenue, bringing in over $126 million in 1 month. The game's exceptional growth was unexpected, but the folks at Pubg noticed, and the very next month the publishers behind Pubg sued Epic Games in South Korea, insinuating that Epic Games had copied their game's user interface, items, and other ideas that were intrinsic to PUBG's game. It is possible that Brendan Greene and PUBG reflected on the licensing deal Greene had with Sony's game H1Z1 and felt that the same deal should have been made by Fortnite to license the Battle Royale idea. This could have been at the heart of the issue, with PUBG now wishing to be compensated for their stolen idea. But within 3 weeks of having brought their lawsuit against Epic Games, PUBG dropped their lawsuit. The argument that Fortnite copied PUBG could not be made, as there's already a well-established precedent in media and games that you cannot copyright an idea or legally enforce the assumption of someone else using your idea. Today, nearly every major shooter from Titanfall's Apex Legends to Call of Duty's Blackout game mode is built on the legacy of the Battle Royale game mod that PUBG's Brendan Greene first brought to market in his Arma 2 mod. Fortnite has transitioned from an idea conceived from a Gears of War 3 afterparty into a mainstream cultural phenomena, and as of 2019, it is played by hundreds of millions of people around the world on both consoles, PC, and mobile platforms. But the case between PUBG and Fortnite is not the first time a publisher has brought a lawsuit against another game studio for copying the idea behind their game. The 1981 case between Atari and Amusement World was a legendary case that set a precedent for every game since, and was one of the first cases that officially recognized that an idea in a video game could not be copyrighted. And it was partially because of this case that we can play all sorts of shooters, RPGs, and fighting games alike. That is the end of today's water bottle discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.